from the historic Ham Building in St. Paul, it's the Haberdasher's Couch. I'm Kendrick, inviting you to the show, starring Heimie and Dorset, featuring Todd Walker, also featuring Amy Charlo. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Heimie.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the show, the Haberdasher's Couch. You don't have to pay somebody to listen to you. And today, folks, I have a special guest with me, David Conrad Mills, who's going to answer the question, what happened to America we grew up in? He actually is the title of his book that he wrote. It took him 4 years, and he's going to give us a little bit of a background of what he thinks happened to America. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Tell me, you wandered in here, and you were telling me about the America that maybe you grew up in.
Correct.
Give me a little bit of perspective on your book.
I was born in 1944, and in those days, it was all about family, church, and we sat down at the dinner table every night.
Sure.
And
there wasn't as many distractions.
No, but the distraction was every year my mother and father got 2-week vacation from the job. My dad was a Bremerton city fireman.
Okay.
And so we take a vacation and we go to Yellowstone, or we go to the coast and go salmon fishing.
Right.
And that sort of thing.
So when we think about American families and the structure of American families, dad, mom, kids, car, suburbs, there's an economy of scales there. And also I would say that back then, we communicated differently. We occupied our time differently.
Correct.
There was less distractions, so to speak, because we don't have cell phones. And we ventured out because there was that was the adventure. That's what kept us entertained, where everything is in.
That's correct.
6 inches away from our face.
Yes. Widescreen
TVs. We don't have to go to the theater anymore.
If you wanted to call mom and dad,
yeah,
you went down to the corner block,
right,
and got on a payphone. There was no instant communication in them days.
So in Bremerton, Washington, where you're from,
yes,
you said that there was a ferry.
Yes.
And did you take that ferry to Bremerton?
Bremerton is across Puget Sound from Seattle. It's a 1 hour ferry boat ride across Puget Sound to Bremerton. And Bremerton is basically the gateway to what's called 𝐂𝐸𝐴𝐴 Peninsula. And from there we can go to the coast, Pacific Ocean, and the Straits of Juan de Fuca, where we do a lot of salmon fishing and hunting and that sort of thing.
So chapter 1, paragraph 1, the wind blows gently across the... Did it start like that? Did you set it up as a visual, or what's the journey?
I tell you what, I have to tell you that when I went to high school, I never read a book, and I did all the book reports required, and so I would read the back of the book, and then that's how I did the book report. But when I got to college, I started reading the adventures from Mark Twain's books.
Oh, sure.
And one of the things that he said was, you have to capture your audience in the very first 2 or 3 sentences.
Sure.
And I didn't do the winds that blew across the plain.
Darn, that would have been a good beginning.
No, I did not. I started out praising my wife and my family for what they brought me through, and then I just started out where I was born and my family.
Okay, and then so autobiography, and does it? So this is going to bring us through you as a young man, all the way up till now.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Tell me in just to recap. Give me 3 things that you romanticize about of what happened to the America that you're talking about, that you grew up in.
The thing romanticized.
It's just
the thing that I remember most, and the thing that I
long
for more is the family unit.
Okay.
It has so broken down.
Yep.
Also, the church unit. I grew up in a church where everybody knew everybody, and you had mentors within the church that
Support
would
system.
direct you and lead you on, where mom and dad didn't. You know, sometimes you're afraid to talk to mom and dad about certain things. So the church element was very important.
Okay.
And I must say, that's the one thing that really led me to my book. It took me 4 years to write this book. And I went through everything from grade school to college to my Marine Corps, and I got stuck. And I was really starting to write about all my hunting and fishing adventures. And then I got mired down in the mud, and there was a gal at church that I asked her to help me out. So she read a few pages of my book, and she goes, "David, you have such a marvelous writing style." That led me to continue, and I believe the Holy Spirit kept me alive in my book until I finished it. And it took another year or so with her help.
Yeah, so journey questing, looking inside, introspection, all those things, that can go into creating the idea of what America was like and where it's headed.
Yes, it did. Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
Well, David, I tell you what, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, my pleasure.
And we can get this book where?
And it's available on Amazon.
On Amazon. What happened to America we grew up in? David Conrad Mills, check it out, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
You bet.